Aging is a natural and inevitable process that affects every individual in unique ways. For men, one of the most profound and often overlooked aspects of aging is the transformation that occurs within their bodies, especially after the age of 60. These changes are not just physical but deeply emotional and psychological as well, influencing their confidence, sense of self, and relationships. Society tends to shy away from discussing the realities of aging in men, often perpetuating an idealized version of masculinity that ignores the gradual shifts in the male body. But what if these changes weren't the end of intimacy or sexual fulfillment, but rather the beginning of a deeper, more meaningful connection? This article aims to explore the fundamental shifts that take place in the male body after 60, focusing on one of the most sensitive and commonly avoided subjects: the changes in sexual health, particularly in the male member. It's an issue that many men find difficult to talk about openly, but it is also something that can affect both their physical and emotional well-being. By understanding these natural changes, men can redefine intimacy, cultivate more profound emotional bonds, and embrace this new chapter with confidence. The physical decline, loss of elasticity and rigidity. As men grow older, their bodies undergo a series of transformations that can feel both frustrating and challenging. Among the most noticeable of these changes is the loss of elasticity in the tissues that once characterized youth. One of the most visible markers of this process is the changes that occur in the male member. Just as muscles lose some of their firmness, and the skin across the body becomes thinner and more fragile, so too do the tissues within the genital area. For men under the age of 60, erections tend to come easily and last, without much thought or effort. These natural, almost automatic responses can be taken for granted, with little understanding of the delicate balance that makes them possible. However, as men age, the ease and spontaneity with which they achieve and maintain an erection can diminish. The tissues become less resilient, and the response becomes slower and less consistent. The challenge of maintaining rigidity can often cause feelings of frustration, leading some men to question their masculinity, self-worth, and sexual identity. This loss of elasticity, however, is a normal part of the aging process. It reflects the gradual decline of the body's overall vitality, which affects not only sexual function, but also the energy levels and stamina in other areas of life. The changes are not something to be ashamed of, but rather to be understood and embraced as part of the natural cycle of life. It's also important to note that the changes that occur in the male body don't just affect physical performance. They also have an emotional and psychological impact that can be deeply felt. Blood circulation, the lifeblood of intimacy. At the core of sexual health lies an essential process: blood circulation. The efficiency of the cardiovascular system plays a critical role in male arousal, and as men age, the cardiovascular system begins to lose some of its vigor. The rush of blood to the corpora cavernosi, 2 columns of erectile tissue within the penis, is what creates the firmness and rigidity necessary for intimacy. However, as the body ages, blood flow tends to slow down, becoming less forceful and more erratic. The loss of elasticity in blood vessels, often caused by conditions such as atherosclerosis, only exacerbates this decline in blood flow. Atherosclerosis is a condition in which the walls of blood vessels become rigid and narrow, making it more difficult for blood to flow freely and adequately fill the erectile tissues during arousal. This physical change can significantly affect sexual function, making it more challenging for men to maintain erections. Studies show that erectile dysfunction, ED, is common among men over the age of 60, with anywhere between 40% to 70% of men in this age group experiencing some form of ED. These numbers may seem daunting, but it's important to note that ED is not a sign of failure or an indication that a man's ability to enjoy intimacy is permanently lost. Rather, it's a natural part of aging that can be managed with the right knowledge and resources. Despite the fact that ED is a condition many men experience as they age, it remains a deeply personal and often isolating issue. The topic is still considered taboo in many circles, leaving men feeling embarrassed or inadequate. However, it's vital to emphasize that ED is not a reflection of personal failure. It's simply one aspect of aging that many men face, and with the right mindset and support, it can be addressed in a positive and proactive way. Testosterone decline. The role of the male hormone. Testosterone, often referred to as the male hormone, is vital to many aspects of a man's physical and emotional health. From influencing libido and energy levels to shaping overall well-being, testosterone plays an essential role in maintaining vitality. However, beginning around the age of 40, testosterone production starts to decline gradually. By the time men reach their 60s, this decline often accelerates, leaving many men feeling the effects more intensely. Lower testosterone levels can have a profound impact on a man's desire for intimacy and sexual connection. As testosterone decreases, men may experience a reduced libido, lower energy levels, and a diminished interest in sexual activity. This can be disheartening, as many men equate their sexual drive with their overall vitality and sense of masculinity. However, it's crucial to recognize that a decrease in testosterone does not mean the end of intimacy or sexual fulfillment. Rather, it represents an opportunity to redefine intimacy and find new ways to connect with a partner. For many men, this shift in sexual drive can open the door to a deeper, more emotional connection, where intimacy is less about physical performance and more about cultivating emotional closeness, trust, and understanding. Redefining intimacy, shifting focus from physicality to emotional connection. As men age, intimacy begins to take on new dimensions. No longer solely defined by physical performance, intimacy becomes an opportunity to explore emotional depth, vulnerability, and connection. The shift in focus from physical desire to emotional bonding allows couples to discover new forms of intimacy that prioritize tenderness, communication, and shared understanding. During this stage of life, intimacy may become less frequent, but it has the potential to be much richer and more fulfilling than in previous years. Moments of connection are no longer measured by the frequency of physical intimacy or the level of rigidity achieved, but by the strength of the emotional bond that is cultivated in these moments. For many men, this transformation represents a chance to embrace a new form of intimacy that is based not on the external expectations of youthful sexuality, but on the internal exploration of emotional connection. Through shared experiences, tender gestures, and heartfelt conversations, couples can create moments of intimacy that are even more meaningful than before. Embracing vulnerability, the key to strengthening relationships. In addition to the physical changes that occur with aging, emotional vulnerability also plays a crucial role in redefining intimacy in later years. The ability to share one's feelings, fears, and insecurities with a partner fosters an environment of trust and mutual understanding. Couples who approach these challenges together often find that their bond becomes stronger, not weaker. By embracing vulnerability, men can connect with their partners on a deeper level, creating a more profound emotional and relational bond. This openness fosters intimacy in a way that goes beyond physical desire, allowing both partners to feel seen, heard, and valued in the relationship. Practical tips for navigating the changes of aging. While the physical changes that occur with aging can be daunting, there are numerous practical steps men can take to maintain their sexual health and overall well-being. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and stress management all contribute to better circulation, hormone levels, and self-esteem. Additionally, Seeking medical advice and treatment options for conditions such as ED or testosterone decline can help men feel more confident and empowered in navigating this stage of life. It's also important to focus on emotional well-being and to approach these changes with patience and a willingness to adapt. Recognizing that intimacy evolves and changes as we age allows men to embrace the process with grace, knowing that new opportunities for growth and connection await. Navigating the silent transformation of aging. Aging is a natural, inevitable process, yet it often arrives quietly, without fanfare or preparation. While society has conditioned us to expect some sort of celebratory transition, such as birthdays or milestones, the changes that accompany aging, particularly for men over 60, are rarely addressed with the same enthusiasm. Society tends to romanticize youth and vitality, often forgetting that intimacy and connection in later years can be just as enriching, if not more so. For many men, the changes that occur as they grow older affect not just their bodies but their entire sense of self-worth and confidence. It's crucial to understand that aging does not mark the end of one's ability to experience intimate connection. Instead, it offers a unique opportunity for growth, reinvention, and deeper emotional bonds. By embracing this reality, men can learn how to navigate these changes, redefining intimacy not as a physical performance, but as a profound emotional and relational experience. In this detailed exploration, we will dive into the changes that occur in the male body after the age of 60, particularly regarding intimacy, and how men can approach this new phase of life with an open heart and mind. The silent evolution of the male body after 60. As men enter their 60s, their bodies begin to undergo gradual but significant changes. The transformations are often subtle, occurring over time, but their cumulative effect can be profound. One of the first and most noticeable changes is the loss of elasticity, particularly in the tissues of the male member. What was once flexible and responsive becomes less supple with age. This gradual loss of elasticity is often the most immediately recognizable sign of aging in the male body. As the tissues lose their ability to stretch and rebound, the physical experience of intimacy is impacted, making it more challenging for some men to achieve or maintain rigidity. This physical shift is not isolated to the male member. The entire body is undergoing similar transformations. Muscles that were once firm and toned soften, while skin becomes thinner, more fragile, and less resilient. These changes are a direct result of the natural aging process, which affects connective tissue, muscle elasticity, and skin resilience. For many men, the male member, being an intimate and personal symbol of masculinity, becomes a focal point for these changes. It is in this area that the connection between physical changes and emotional well-being is often most apparent. The transition from youthful vitality to the body's new reality can create feelings of frustration or inadequacy. However, it is vital to acknowledge that this is a part of the natural aging process and not a failure. The shift in sensitivity, exploring new dimensions of pleasure. As men age, one of the most significant changes they experience is a noticeable reduction in sensitivity. While the change can initially feel alarming or disorienting, it offers an opportunity to explore new dimensions of pleasure and connection. Reduced sensitivity can make sexual experiences feel different, less intense, or even more challenging. For some, reaching climax may take longer or require a more focused effort. These shifts are not indicative of a decline in masculinity or sexual capability. Rather, they represent an invitation to explore intimacy in new ways. The reduction in sensitivity is not solely due to aging tissues and muscles. It is also tied to a decrease in nerve function and blood circulation. As the efficiency of the cardiovascular system declines with age, blood flow to the genitals becomes slower and less forceful. This is especially true for men with atherosclerosis, a condition that causes the blood vessels to harden and narrow, further restricting blood flow. A decrease in blood circulation, along with the reduction in the number of responsive nerve endings, contributes to the loss of sensitivity and less intense physical experiences. However, this reduction in sensitivity should not be viewed as a loss. Rather, it's a chance to deepen intimacy through other means. While the physical experience of sex may become less intense, it opens up the possibility of focusing on different forms of connection, such as emotional closeness, tenderness, and communication, that can make the experience of intimacy even more fulfilling. The changing role of blood circulation and hormones. Central to the changes in sexual health and intimacy after 60 is the decline in blood circulation and hormone levels, particularly testosterone. Blood flow plays an essential role in male arousal and sexual function. As blood circulates to the corpora cavernosi, the two sponge-like regions of the penis, it creates the firmness necessary for intercourse. However, the efficiency of this blood flow declines with age. The heart and blood vessels lose their youthful strength and flexibility, leading to slower, less forceful blood circulation. Atherosclerosis, a common age-related condition, further exacerbates the issue by narrowing blood vessels and reducing blood flow to the genital area. These physiological changes are the root cause of erectile dysfunction, ED, a condition that affects between 40% and 70% of men over the age of 60. The decline in testosterone levels is another critical factor in aging men's intimacy. Testosterone, the primary male sex hormone, plays a pivotal role in regulating libido, energy, and sexual desire. After the age of 40, testosterone levels begin to drop, and this decline often accelerates after the age of 60. Lower levels of testosterone can manifest in a variety of ways, including reduced interest in intimacy, lower energy levels, and a decrease in overall vitality. As testosterone continues to decline, many men may experience a decrease in their sexual desire, which can lead to feelings of frustration, inadequacy, and confusion. Redefining intimacy, the emotional and relational aspects of aging. While the physical changes are undoubtedly significant, they represent only one aspect of the aging process. The most profound shift for many men lies in the emotional and relational changes that occur. As men approach their 60s and beyond, the focus of intimacy often shifts from physical performance to emotional connection. The experience of intimacy becomes less about the spontaneous physicality of youth and more about creating moments of tenderness, vulnerability, and mutual understanding. For many couples, this stage of life is an opportunity to explore deeper forms of connection, to rediscover each other on a more profound level. Physical intimacy can evolve to emphasize new forms of closeness that prioritize patience, communication, and emotional presence. Rather than feeling pressured to maintain the vigor of youth, men can embrace a slower, more intentional approach to intimacy that is focused on shared experiences and emotional bonding. This shift allows couples to build a more fulfilling relationship, grounded in mutual respect and understanding. Intimacy in later life can become about creating memories, building trust, and nurturing a deep emotional connection that transcends physical performance. This period also offers men a chance to develop greater emotional resilience. As feelings of inadequacy or self-doubt arise, it's important for men to acknowledge these emotions and find ways to address them. Embracing vulnerability, opening up to partners, and discussing fears, desires, and expectations can strengthen the relationship and create a more profound intimacy. Through shared communication, men and their partners can create an emotional safe space that fosters mutual understanding and support. By focusing on the emotional aspects of intimacy, men can develop a deeper sense of self-worth, grounded not in physical performance, but in the quality of their relationships. The importance of vulnerability and communication. One of the most critical aspects of navigating intimacy in later life is the willingness to embrace vulnerability. For many men, this is an unfamiliar or uncomfortable concept, particularly in a society that often equates masculinity with strength and invulnerability. Yet, embracing vulnerability in intimate relationships can open up new avenues for connection. By sharing insecurities, fears, and uncertainties with a partner, men can foster deeper emotional intimacy, breaking down barriers of shame and self-doubt. Vulnerability also plays a pivotal role in communication. Open, honest conversations about the changes that accompany aging, including shifts in sexual function and emotional needs, are essential for maintaining a fulfilling relationship. Couples who communicate openly about their desires, frustrations, and expectations are better equipped to navigate the challenges of aging together. Through these conversations, couples can redefine what intimacy means to them, embracing a new dynamic that honors both the physical and emotional aspects of their connection. Practical solutions: regaining confidence and enhancing intimacy. While the changes associated with aging can feel overwhelming, there are practical steps that men can take to address the physical and emotional challenges that arise. First and foremost, maintaining a healthy lifestyle through regular exercise, a balanced diet, and stress management is crucial. Physical activity, particularly cardiovascular exercise, can improve blood circulation and help mitigate some of the challenges related to erectile dysfunction and reduced libido. Additionally, seeking medical advice from professionals who specialize in aging and sexual health can provide valuable insights into potential treatments and therapies that can help men regain confidence and improve their intimacy. It's also essential to approach aging as an opportunity for rediscovery rather than loss. Men over 60 should embrace the changes in their bodies and sexuality with a sense of curiosity and open-mindedness. Experimenting with different forms of touch, focusing on other erogenous zones, and exploring new ways of connecting with a partner can all enhance intimacy in unexpected ways. This is a time to redefine what intimacy means, shifting the focus from physical performance to emotional closeness, shared experience, and mutual growth. Conclusion: embracing the new chapter of life. The aging process, especially after 60, is a complex journey that encompasses not only physical changes but emotional, psychological, and relational shifts as well. By approaching these changes with an open heart and mind, men can navigate this stage of life with a renewed sense of purpose and fulfillment. Aging does not mean the end of intimacy, nor does it signify a loss of masculinity. Instead, it offers a chance to redefine intimacy, focusing less on physical performance and more on emotional connection, vulnerability, and shared experience. With communication, self-awareness, and a willingness to adapt, men can continue to enjoy a fulfilling and meaningful intimate life well into their later years. Aging is not a decline, but a transformation, a chance to explore new dimensions of intimacy that celebrate the enduring power of love, trust, and connection. Embrace this new chapter with grace, wisdom, and the recognition that true intimacy is about more than just the physical. It is about the deep emotional bond that evolves and flourishes over time.